In 2016, Paul and Gary O'Donovan from Skibbereen, County Cork put rowing back on the Irish sporting map when they won silver at the Olympic Games in Rio. Their prowess on the water matched only by their charisma off it, as the Cork brothers' wit helped bring their sport into the hearts and homes of the nation. In 2017, the mantle was taken up by another couple of Cork oarsmen as the lightweight pairs partnership of Shane O'Driscoll and Mark O'Donovan struck gold at both the European and the World Championships. Given their remarkable year, we thought we'd head down to the National Rowing Centre in Cork and let the lads tell the story in their own words. Guys, thanks a million for having us. Mark, Shane, good to meet you. How do we find you? Everyone fit and healthy and keeping well?
Yeah, not too bad, no.
Not too bad, just getting over a bit of an old flu, you know.
Right.
But yeah, we're in good spirits now, so happy out.
Getting used to the cold weather again and things.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was watching you from the balcony this morning. It's a long way from the World Championships in Florida out there this morning. Heading into the depths of winter, you're still hard at it. No rest for the wicked, I suppose.
Yeah, the tans are long gone and the memories are the only thing we have left now. But hopefully the sun will come back.
Looking forward to, the winter's training and everything out there. And the weather, it's calm, but it's cold, at the moment, and you get an odd shower here and there. But it's a great place to train, really.
Yeah,
this facility.
Yeah,
it's super, really. One of the best in the world, to be honest. And the course itself, it's not used enough, I don't think.
Is this where the World Championships and the European Championships are won, in the depths of winter when you're hard at it? Put it in the tank, I suppose, as they say.
Absolutely. We're always looking to increase our aerobic capacity. So kind of like if you don't do that, you won't sustain the pace that you want to be putting out down the course. So this is generally where you kind of develop the engine, and then you can build the speed on top of that, off the back of that, really towards the racing season. So that's where you can really start sharpening up. But if you don't have that base, you're not going to be at the races.
That kind of brings me on to, you have this kind of public persona where in the interviews after big races and stuff, you're very quick to kind of play everything down. But you are, albeit amateur athletes, in a very professional environment at the peak of your sport. You're really kind of up there with the best of the best.
That's right, yeah. We everything's very well calculated, come technique, our physical ability, our strength and condition, everything we do is just aimed towards that goal, and it's all the training program that Dominic gives us is very well set out, and it has all those goals depending on the time of the year, everything. It's very well calculated, and even we work very close with our physiologist, our strength and condition and coach, our nutritionist, and especially this year I think we really worked well with them, and we got great support from them, and that is very important. It's not a matter of going out and pulling hard. I think we get a lot of stick for our technique maybe, but I think our technique is quite efficient and effective. It's there's no slip in the oar. If you look at our blade going through the water.
Who gives you stick or what? Or if they were kind of targeting something, throw them under the bus there. Give us names.
Commentators you'd have. Yeah. I suppose a race, usually people would say it's kind of traditional kind of technique that you'd rate 37 through the middle of the course for the middle 1K. And
what's
then
that, your stroke rate?
Stroke rate, strokes per minute.
Okay.
But at the start then, for the first minute, you might do, I suppose, 40 or something. Thereabouts. Yeah. Even lower then through the middle, maybe 34 times, some boats would. But I don't think we go below 43. I don't think anyone has ever done that. We don't do that in training. It's just, I suppose, we step up a notch, on race day, and I think we go in there with calm minds, but we would be quite aggressive with it, Yeah. And that kind of style, I suppose, it's very unique and different to other boats.
Shane would dictate the stroke rate because I'm following him.
Right.
But if something needs to happen, I'll call it, and then Shane always just listens. So he's very good for that. He does what he's told.
Mark's the boss. It's I do think that, if we're on land, I might say something to Mark. Oh, we might try this out or try that out. But once we go on the water, I don't say anything, because I think you have an hour and a half on the water each day. I don't think, if we're talking throughout the whole session, I don't think it's very productive. So,
we don't need to. We don't actually analyse it the whole time.
Really? Okay.
No, not anymore. And it's kind of like something that we got used to. We know what we're looking for, so why would we spend time
And
talking about
it's
how
like,
good
it's
or
a trust thing too, I suppose. I trust Mark like that. He might say something, draw the oar up higher or put in more power or something, and I'd be kind of like, but I do it, because I know it's good for the boat, and we're both going for the same result, to win a race. So
what about the fact you can't see what he's doing behind you, so you can never give out any?
maybe that's a good thing.
a pina colada in the back. Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean, when did you first kind of decide that as a partnership you were stronger together? When did you first get in a boat even together?
Was it 2014, was it?
Winter 2014, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Mark was at the World Champs in 2014 in a pair, and then that winter we went looking at lightweight fours, because at the time that was an Olympic event. Yeah. But things didn't work out. We tried a regatta and we didn't do very well, and we got cut from that. So the option that we had was to do a pair, and we had no other choice really.
Had you raced individually with other people in pairs? I know fours, like you raced with the O'Donovans growing up traditionally and stuff like that.
I was just senior. I was after turning senior at that stage, so I raced with Gary my last year under 23, and then I was senior, so I was going for the lightweight four, and Gary was going for the lightweight double with Paul. So it was only Mark at the time was there. So
one of the biggest problems we had was we were both going out to bow side, which is both oars going out to the left. So it was both our preference that we're both naturally comfortable on that side. So then one of us had to make a decision of who swaps over. And I think I gave it a go first with, and we lasted 20 minutes. I came in and we're like, Shane's making the jump. So, thank God he did, because it's a very quick combination now, but we had to have a lot of patience and just get it going, because when you're natural going to one side, what you're doing with your hands individually changes, and how your body's meant to move, it's kind of quite different.
How big an adjustment is that? I mean, is that like somebody playing entirely backhand on a tennis court when they're normally orthodox kind of forehand? Would it be?
Oh yeah, it could be some forwards and a back. It's completely different. And even
I think when we did get it right, it was very exciting, because it was like it meant we had a chance to race the World Championships. And even though at the time we had high performance director Martin Espeson, and he was from Denmark, and he was a tough enough guy on us, and he made us hit targets. And I really wanted to go to this regatta in Switzerland, because the whole team were going there basically. And he said, if you can do a 6:30, like we won that last race, the World Champs at 6:33. If you can do a 6:30, then you can go. And then, thanks be to God, it got windy here one day, and there was a regatta on at the same time, and we did it, and couldn't believe that we did it, because we got nowhere close to those times all along, and we just happened to have a good race.
He wanted a 500, a 1K and a 2K of certain times, and we just ended up getting them all into one race.
On the one race, and I got the sheet of paper and I went straight up to him afterwards and I said, book us a ticket. And he couldn't believe it. He was like, okay.
And you're saying that you don't really, let's say you don't kind of nitpick or argue, or you don't because you live together, so you have your social life, your home life, and your albeit professional life. I mean, that must be very difficult.
I suppose you would think it, all right. We spend an awful lot of our days together, and before it was worse, because we used to share a bedroom, which was very, very bad.
Is this the place above the pub, is it?
Yeah. That was we had some entertaining nights there.
But at the time you'd take no notice, but I suppose looking back you'd say, how did we do it? And I suppose they're tough enough all times, but I suppose we never went hungry or we never got cold really, so we were quite happy in ourselves doing it.
But we wouldn't really argue, and we don't argue, which is great. And then I suppose when we're out on the boat, it's strictly business. When we stop, we have a bit of crack, but when we go, it's on again. We're focused. Then when we come in here, we don't really chat about how the rowing went. unless we needed to. But otherwise, we're just having a laugh, and generally, we're surrounded by like-minded individuals, so we're always trying to get ourselves to the place that other people want to be in as well, and we're always just having the crack, because sure, that's what you have at the end of the day. So even when you see those interviews from after the races, you know, why would we give a detailed breakdown of what actually happened? We're just happy that it was done. You know, people don't really want to know.
When you come into this season, because I was looking at the results, you know, historically over the last 2 or 3 years, and there is a kind of a natural progression there. You're going kind of 7th, 4th, thereabouts very much. Did you have any kind of an inkling or an insight into the fact that this year was just going to, I mean, you basically, by the time you even got to the Europeans in the Czech Republic in May, you'd pretty much won everything. And then you go there and you take the gold. Did you see it coming?
In 2015, we did race the Worlds, and we didn't have a great year up until that. We were trying to find ourselves, I suppose, we were new combination things. And we went there, and even we weren't having a great regatta in 2015. So we made the B final, which we were happy to do, but we were going out for the B final, and we were thinking we'll finish maybe 4th in this race. And we ended up winning that race, and winning it by about a foot. And it meant we got funding for the following year, and this was a great result for us, basically. And we won a final at a World Championships. It might have been a B final, but we won something. So I think that gave us great courage for the following year, and we would have been looking at medals then maybe for the following year, and we came up short. In every regatta we came 4th. So I think that hurt us a bit, you know. So we went back and we trained hard that winter, you know, and Dominic got employed as a lightweight men's coach. So Dominic took us to a camp in Seville. And I always remember we were still trying to get over this 4th place, and we were, you know, thinking, right, we'll try and get some medal, because I'd never been on a podium for my whole run career. But I remember him saying, I think he should go out and win Europeans. We were saying, right, and we bought into it, and I suppose we started putting a bit more belief into ourselves then that we could do it, we could win Europeans, you know. And we did. That was the first, I suppose, time that we really found ourselves, and that our style came out, and that we rated high, and we raced very aggressively and everything. So we did surprise ourselves when we won that, and I suppose from there on in we started getting more confident, and that the World Championships is a realistic target, you know, to win it.
Tell me about Florida and the World Championships. I mean, even off the top of my head, there's a lot of natural factors going against you. You know, 2 lads from Cork used to, you know, growing up training in the cold and stuff, and that brings with it its own problems. I said it was 3 or 4 degrees out there today. You're going to Florida to the World Championships, where a lot of people are naturally acclimatised. You guys aren't, and you're racing in, you know, mid-30s heat, humidity, and you bring home the gold again.
I suppose credit to Dominic there. He took us on a acclimatisation camp in Spain.
Banyoles, yeah.
Banyoles. That was for 2.5 weeks. Came home for 3 days and flew out to Florida then. So I suppose we were well adjusted to the heat.
We got some kind of some bout of heat, but it wasn't as hot as we wanted it to be. It was a bit lower than what we kind of expected.
It was really hot over there. It was wicked. We trained in the morning, and if we had to, we'd train in the evening, you know, stay out of the heat of the day. But we raced 1 o'clock, you know. Now, Paul had done a semi-final the day before our final, and he came home after that and said, lads, I don't know about you going straight off the start as hard as I do, because he will suffer halfway down. And because I did today, he said, take it somewhat easy, you know, to the halfway point and then go. And this was changing our tactics a little, and I kind of smirked at him and said, come on, how bad can it be, you know? So we went off and did our thing in the final, and I'll never forget it. I 800 metres in, and my mouth went all dry and kind of got stuck a little. It was just complete heat exhaustion, really. And I looked down and I was only 800 metres in. That's before the halfway. And I thought of Paul, and I was like, I'm after digging my grave now. I'll just have to stay in it and just bury yourself, because this is it, you know.
I ignored the advice
And
of
I suppose-
one of your friends and an Olympic silver medalist.
We were a lint up on the field at the time, and I was thinking, okay, I'm in pain, but they must be a lot worse, and they have a lint to make up on me, so I suppose I do have the advantage.
Despite the testing conditions, the Irish boat would cruise home to take the gold medal with a very comfortable 8 metres clear water between them and the Italian crew in second. But far from resting on their laurels and reliving their successes, Mark and Shane are now keen to press on and reset their goals. The ultimate aim is a tilt at Olympic success when the Games come back around in Tokyo in 2020. But with no lightweight pairs category currently on the men's Olympic roster, the lads know that moving up in the weights could represent their biggest test yet.
In 2015, we were so far off first place at the World Champs, it was almost unrealistic for us to ever win a World Champs. But now here we are, so we're thinking about stepping up the heavyweight. Well, we are going up the heavyweight, and we're going to commit to that over the next few years. And people are saying, you'll never make it. Okay, you're the best in the lightweight category, but heavyweight is a different story. But I think if we stay going the way we're going, getting better all the time, I think, of course, it's realistic. I think we can do it.
It was our own choice as well. We could stay lightweight as well and compete for the lads' positions. But, we just said, we'll do this. We've got something good here. Let's make it more valuable and actually make something of ourselves instead of depending on someone else for success. So I think when we're good enough to do it, we'll go away and bloody do it, really.
So everything
just to be clear, people do think we're crazy doing this.
Yeah, I'd
they
imagine,
think we're nuts, and I suppose I don't mind that. People think we're nuts the way we row, and that it's going against all
rowing technical models, what you should do, everything that kind of we do is kind of out the window. So
even to look at our boat, we have just all the settings different to other boats. Generally, you can compare two boats or alike. They'll be racing against each other, but our boat is a bit all over the place. It's a way different, but that's
they
the way
come from the same manufacturer, but we just change them.
It's almost like driving a car.
You get it perfect.
You have
you
your
break
steering
it up,
wheel,
and together.
it's like we'd have our steering wheel down low. They'd have that all right, and the seat and whatnot. So everything's adjusted and different. And I suppose we just decided to do this because we think it's the best way for us to move a boat fast.
You've just won two massive, the European and the Worlds, and now in the space of 6 months, you go to Glasgow in May, is it, for the Europeans is first, and then Bulgaria in September for the Worlds, and you're making that jump from lightweight pairs to heavyweights. kg wise, what have you got to put on? What have you got to do differently over the next 6 months?
Probably pick up a few more weights, yeah.
Steak and spuds, the lad would probably say, plenty of them.
I suppose we're gonna try and put ourselves in the best possible state for that Europeans or that World Championships. But I suppose how much can you do over a few years? This is a stepping stone. I look to Tokyo. We're gonna do our best, and we're gonna try and put on as much muscle. But time is against us this year. But if we stick at it every day and every week, we don't really, I suppose that's kind of our method.
Yeah, there's going to be a kind of a natural progression every year of how our results are going to get better. We're probably going to get naturally a bit bigger, hopefully with the increase in calories and everything daily. So everything's going to get there, but it's not going to happen overnight. So next year, our results may be nowhere near what they are what just happened, and we've accepted that in our mind. We're still going to go out and try and win the bloody thing, but we're going to be off the pace more than likely a little bit. But then it's just going to start coming true that we're going to start climbing up the ranks very, very quick.
What about rowing in general? And you're talking about Tokyo is the dream. Obviously, we're very privy to what happened in Rio and the explosion of it into the public consciousness in this country. And, you saw what the O'Donovan lads did and the homecoming show. Even when you guys came home in September via Florida and Disneyland and Universal and so on and so forth. I mean, you must have been taken aback by just how the buy-in from people, who, outside of rowing, like the greater public.
Absolutely, because sure, Skibbereen's 1,500, is it, the population?
Yeah.
1,500, and there's like 4,000 people there, so obviously people flooded in, so it was just absolutely, like, we're grateful that they came around.
It gets me every time, really, like, the big crowds, it's baffling, like, that people, Rowan's gone from down there to way up there, It's incredible, really, but I think people need to kind of, they know a lot about Rowan and people are taking an interest, but there's so much more to Rowan than, that we're not telling people, I suppose, and I'd love to get the message out there,
Which is what, in terms of?
I suppose, like, the way, the whole mechanics of the sport, and I suppose even the success of the younger ones, the under-23s, the juniors, they're all coming up, like, Rowan is huge in this, and it always has been there, only we never had an Olympic medal,
Are you full-time at this? I mean, I know you do a bit of coaching, Mark, don't you? But can you get by, I mean, in terms of bursaries and fundings and stuff like that? I mean, obviously, as we've said, your star is very much in the ascendancy now, and you're being tipped and you're backing yourselves to go to Tokyo and do well. Can you get by on what's out there for you funding-wise?
It's tough,
we don't like complaining about it, I suppose, but
like, we're still alive and we're doing well and we have enough to put on the table, but like it's a sacrifice that you just have to make. You only got one shot at this, and you're only going to be doing it for a number of years. What's
the sacrifice? What do you miss out most at this point in your life? You're what, 28, 25?
29, yeah. So you're missing out on the nights out with the lads.
Like, are you at this, even at this time of the year, coming up to Christmas, are you at it 5, 6, 7 days a week?
Every day, yeah.
Twice every day,
yeah.
Twice a day.
2 to 3 times a day, so it can be, you make sacrifices. The best thing is that your friends and your family understand and they give you a break, that when you go home, they're still your friends and your family.
We will go home to Skibbereen for Christmas, like, and we'll still get the training done. We have rowing machines and things in the club, and we can get out in boats. We did last Christmas. We went rowing at all the senior lads in the club, so we enjoyed that as well. So we'll go home for a week or so,
It's nice to integrate back into the club as well and kind of show, just because we're kind of up in the national centre, it doesn't mean that we're not Skibbereen men at the end of the day. We still try and wear our colours and head back home when we can, and sometimes that's not that often as much as we like, but we still go back when we can.
When you were saying, Mark, about going back to Skibbereen and your local community and stuff, it must be nice. There must be a certain sense of validation when the hard work that other people put in as well, and then the amount of work that you did to get where you've got to in the last 12 months. And Christmas is a time for kind of family and friends, and you know that people are looking at you going, "Geez, the two boys did well."
Absolutely. Like, I was only picking up a few bits in the shop there the other day, and people keep stopping you, and it's lovely that people still remember. Like, it's not forgotten about, and they're just so proud. And I suppose when we were over in Disneyland in Florida for a while, and we were just going about our holiday, having the crack. We forgot about the rowing. But then when we came home, we realised, oh Christ, this thing actually happened. So we kind of got a shock again. But they keep going on about it down home, which is great when you do go home. So it is nice that they're very, very proud of everything that went on.
It's well worth doing, especially elderly people come up to you and they, like, it's almost, everyone's nearly an expert in row now, and they'd be like, they'd be so passionate about the whole thing, and they were saying that we were in the dark and you pulled us out, and all this. It's great to see it, and everyone's so happy about it, and congratulating us.
Yeah, they're very nice.
It makes a big difference to people's lives when they see people that they've known from, you were no height and no age, going on to taking on people on a world stage. I'm almost kind of disappointed that the moustaches have gone, but you've gone for the full beard.
We're filling up now, we got rid of them. We were advised a long time ago to get rid of them. So, yeah, at the moment.
Anybody in particular, family members, or
It was generally the middle-aged women were.
They're really put out over it,
Yeah, even though that's not our target age audience.
you've no time for that kind of stuff anyway?
No.
Does it ever feel weird when you're not together? Like if you, what will you spend at the most? A few days apart, kind of Christmas time? Will you leave each other's alone? Or will you?
It would be nice to come back and have a chat, you know. And
This
Will
man
he be
is mad
texting you?
Oh, he'd be mad for the chats, Shane. He's like a humble old man. You know, if you haven't seen him in 20 minutes or even an evening, he'd be coming back and if he'd hear you downstairs, he'd come down and he'll be there for a few hours chatting. And yeah, he won't stop once he gets going at all.
Well, look, listen, it's great to meet you. Thanks very much for showing us around, taking the time, and best of luck for 2018, and more so, congratulations on an unbelievable 2017. Well done, lads.
Thanks a million.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff.
Thanks.
Thanks Mark.
Thanks,
Shane,
Al.
thank you.
Thank you.